Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition.
You've likely seen sentiments like this one making the rounds. There's a real sense of anxiety building around AI, particularly this idea that it's coming for all of our jobs. This quote, I think, perfectly captures that feeling, that we're on the verge of some massive, unavoidable shift.
So, let's ask the question, where is all of this coming from? It's important to trace the source of this recent wave of anxiety.
Well, a significant portion of the current alarm can be traced back to a widely read essay by Matt Schumer. In it, he drew a parallel between this moment and February 2020, just before the pandemic changed everything. The implication being that AI is a similar world-altering event that many of us are not taking seriously enough.
And that comparison, it really stuck. It helped create this very potent, very simple narrative that an avalanche of job losses isn't some distant possibility, but something that's happening right now. But is that the full picture?
The technology is, without a doubt, impressive. But it's crucial that we step back from the hype for a moment and ask, is this level of panic truly justified? Or is there a more measured, more rational way to think about how AI will actually integrate into our professional lives?
To arrive at a more grounded answer, we need to look beyond the sensational headlines and consider a core economic principle. It's a concept that reframes the entire discussion, moving it from humans versus AI to humans with AI.
Economist David Oks makes a truly critical point here. He suggests that we've been asking the wrong question all along. It's not about whether AI can perform a task better than a person in isolation. The real dynamic is far more nuanced.
It all comes down to a concept called comparative advantage. Now, I know that sounds a bit academic, but the idea itself is quite intuitive. Imagine this. A law firm partner might be a faster typist than her paralegal. That's an absolute advantage. But the partner's time is far more valuable when spent on legal strategy. So the paralegal has the comparative advantage in typing, because the opportunity cost is lower. It's simply the most efficient use of resources.
Okay, so let's apply that same logic to AI. The wrong question is, can AI code better than a human? The right question is, can a human developer working with an AI assistant produce a better outcome than that AI could ever produce on its own? And as of today, the answer to that second question is a definitive yes.
The reality in the professional world right now is that this human-AI partnership, this cyborg model, if you will, consistently outperforms a standalone AI. Humans bring critical context, strategic oversight, and a deep understanding of nuance that an algorithm simply can't grasp yet. This means the most valuable professionals won't be those who are replaced by AI, but rather those who master working alongside it.
Now, let's shift from economic theory to the, let's say, messier reality of the corporate world. Because even the most advanced technology imaginable will eventually run up against the friction of human systems.
As David Oks puts it, the primary factor slowing down AI adoption isn't a limitation in the technology, it's us. It's our organizations, our processes, our habits. These things are filled with inherent inefficiencies that AI cannot just magically erase.
I mean, just think about any large organization you've been a part of. How quickly do things actually change? You've got established cultures, internal politics, rigid bureaucracies, legal and compliance reviews, not to mention legacy software systems that are critical but difficult to change. These are human and organizational roadblocks, and they act as a very powerful brake on the pace of automation.
And if we look at history, we can see this isn't a new phenomenon. When electricity was introduced, it didn't cause an immediate productivity boom. Why not? Well, factories were physically laid out to accommodate a single, central steam engine. It took decades for businesses to completely re-architect their workflows and factory floors to truly leverage the new technology. A powerful new tool rarely creates instantaneous change.
So we have human systems that act as a natural brake. But beyond that, there's an even more counterintuitive reason to question the mass job loss narrative. And that is, sometimes making a task more efficient can actually create more demand and therefore more jobs.
This is an economic principle known as the Jevons paradox. The classic example is energy. As engines became more efficient, people didn't use less fuel overall. They ended up driving more and buying more goods that had to be transported because the cost had gone down. So higher efficiency actually led to higher overall consumption.
A perfect modern example of this is in software development. Think about it. Over the past few decades, modern programming languages and development tools have made writing code exponentially more efficient than it was in the early days of computing.
So, did that efficiency mean we needed fewer programmers? No, exactly the opposite occurred. We saw an absolute explosion in the demand for software engineers. As it became cheaper and easier to create software, our collective appetite for what we could do with it became practically infinite. The same dynamic could very well play out in many other fields enhanced by AI.
So when you combine these three ideas, the economic logic of comparative advantage, the real-world friction of human bottlenecks, and this counterintuitive paradox of efficiency, the future begins to look quite different from the one presented in the panic narrative.
Yes, change is coming. No one is denying that. But it's far more likely to be a gradual evolution than a sudden, disruptive avalanche. We're most likely looking at a transition that will play out over many years, if not decades, which gives individuals and society time to adapt.
In fact, Oks argues that the most significant immediate threat isn't the technology itself, it's the fear of the technology. A widespread panic could fuel a political backlash, potentially leading to poorly conceived regulations that stifle innovation and prevent us from realizing the immense potential benefits of AI.
And that leaves us with a final and I think critical question to reflect on. As we navigate this new era, perhaps the greatest risk we face isn't a technological one, but a human one. It's possible the most important work ahead is to ensure our public conversation is guided by careful analysis rather than by fear.
Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, please use the QR code at the beginning or end of this video to buy us a coffee. We'd also appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. And remember to like, comment, and share. It really helps us reach a wider audience.